We are in the UN. Hey! Hey! We're going to the UN. We have 2 cameras. Yeah. So yeah, we're cool.
For a number of years, so we're very lucky to have her here in Geneva after her time in New York and other duty stations. We're a little bit pressed for time, but we're absolutely happy to have you here, and we're ready for you. We're listening.
Okay.
Girls?
We've got a question about red hand-down child soldiers. Can you accept it on behalf of our year class?
We've got 24 hands and everyone has placed their hands on here, and we did it for the child soldiers. We based the play on Soldier United about everything that's happening, because we watched the film and we all got fascinated by it. We watched Blood Diamond and we saw that children need their rights and we want to fight for them.
Great, so I'll take it.
Yeah, we've got some more as well.
Okay, because not all 24 hands fit it on one, I guess.
We've actually got the whole of the E group was involved.
Okay.
We've got 240, and it was linked in with the international global Red Hand campaign.
That's right.
So they felt very strongly that they wanted to take part after learning about it in their citizenship classes.
No, that's great. I mean, thank you very much. We'll convey it to New York. This is particularly important because, you know, the UN itself has a campaign which is very similar, 0 under 18. And 0 under 18 is exactly that, is to make sure that all the countries sign the protocol on children in armed conflicts, banning the use of children under 18 in armies and among combatants. So this is really important because this is really in support of what we are doing. We're hoping there's 135 countries, I think, as of today, that have signed this protocol. Signed and ratified. There's about 30 that have not signed and about 20 that have signed but not ratified. When you sign an agreement, international agreement, the parliament has to ratify it, has to make it a legal obligation inside the country as well. So we are hoping that next year, but I think it's very ambitious, next year all the countries will have signed and ratified it by 2012. So this is really in support of our efforts because we can show the member states that people care, that this is an issue. And you know, there are many, many ways that children are affected by armed conflicts. There's the use of children soldiers, and we know that it's happening all the time. There is also the killing of children during wars, the killing and maiming of children. There is sexual abuse. There is attacks on schools, which unfortunately happens a lot. Schools have become targets for different armies. There is denial of humanitarian access. So there are lots of ways that children are affected by armed conflicts, and the UN is trying to work on all these fronts. So I want to thank you also for another thing, because I know a lot of people who are concerned about these things, but they just sit at home and mope about it. And you have taken a step, and this is the first way that things happen. You took a step, you came out of your living room and you said, we don't like it. We don't like it, and we're going to tell people about it. So I want to congratulate you for this step that you've taken, and I hope it will be followed by many others. So thank you very much, you will have a tour here of the UN, just maybe to explain very briefly what here we do compared to, as you probably know, that the main office of the United Nations is in New York. When we see big decisions being taken by the United Nations, we see this picture of this big glass building on the East River in New York. But a lot, and maybe more, actually happens in Geneva, because this is where we control all the humanitarian assistance. When the earthquake happened in Haiti last year, a lot of the assistance was sent from here, from Geneva. We deal with a lot of problems with AIDS, with global diseases, and a lot more. Human rights as well. All human rights issues are mostly dealt with here in Geneva. And you'll get an explanation about all this. So I hope you find it interesting, and I hope you come back. So thank you for this. We will send them, we'll protect them and send them on so that people are aware of your interest. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, of course.
Would you
Where's
time
the-
for us to have a
Of
photograph
course.
with the children holding
Yes,
up all
yes.
of
Where-
So, good morning, almost, and welcome to the UN office in Geneva, which is, as you probably know, the second largest UN centre in the world, after the UN headquarters in New York, as well as the largest international conference centre as far as multilateral diplomacy is concerned within the UN system, with about 9,000 meetings and conferences of all sorts in Geneva every year. That's close to 800 meetings per month on average. So, quite obviously what you're going to visit is not exactly a museum, but rather a working place, which is also one of the reasons why I would like to ask you to please make sure you stay together and compact throughout this tour. Try not to lag behind, as it's quite easy to get lost in here and rather difficult to get found too. But you won't get lost, it's secure and find and show the way out. Pity really. Also, if you have mobile phones, you do not need to switch them off, just make sure they're switched to silent. So you can also use them if you wish to take pictures. Pictures are allowed. Video isn't, I'm afraid.